All right, and good evening, and welcome to Plunked. This is the show where we celebrate two teams in one city, that city being Chicago. I am one of your hosts, Emilio Bucks, and my co host.
I am Kristen. Petite.
Oh, you said your last name
Uh,
today.
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure what to say after I said Kristen.
What's going on?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, nothing much. Just been watched a little baseball. There's so much of it. It's kind of hard to keep up at times, but I think I'm doing okay, especially a lot of mediocre baseball,
Yeah.
a lot of ups and downs. 1 minute you catch a really good game, and the next it's terrible. But
Mm, mm, mm.
so is the season going on both sides of town.
Yeah. Yep. No one can really brag.
Nope, nope, nope.
And if they do, they're just being silly.
Just being silly, just being divisive.
You're right.
Let's see. The White Sox are currently sitting at 26 and 35, still 9 games under 500. The Cubs are sitting at 26 and 32, a little bit better, 6 games back.
And they're both the same amount of games out of first. Five
Yes,
and a half.
5.5 back. So they're kind of still in this thing.
As sad as that is.
Sad as that is, how is it that both the NL and the AL Central are always
I don't know.
so bad?
Just Midwest just can't have nice things.
Seriously.
We can't have competitive. At least can three of the teams be good?
Man, I mean, I'll take one at this point.
Yeah, it's real sad. It's real sad. And then when you say they're in it, yeah, they're in it to win their sorry division, but they're going nowhere after that.
After that,
And
having
then
Hendricks back will be huge. Uh, I am assuming that you're talking about the White Sox, which is very true.
okay, yeah, because I was
We're
like,
not talking about the
Kyle?
Professor Kyle Hendricks.
That's what I
We
was
are
like.
definitely talking about Liam Hendricks. Yes.
Okay, I gotta
Um,
look at spelling. Spelling is important.
you're right. Liam Hendricks being back is huge. He actually got the win today. Came in and 3 up, 3 down in that ninth before the grand finale, if you will,
Mm,
with that grand slam by Jake Berger. So
yeah.
see what I did there? Grand finale.
Yes, it was good job. A man that they just need to always find at bats for.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
There's no reason for him to not.
Well, so a lot of talk on sports radio in Chicago has been about David Ross. Um, he's kind of on the hot seat. Not that I would see them making some sort of move or firing him in mid-season or anything like that. That wouldn't really be any point. But he is catching a lot of flack as of late for some of his lineup choices and some of his strategies. Why don't you talk to me about David Ross and how much of the Cubs' woes should be blamed on him?
Okay. Sorry, my dog is doing something. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, my dog is barking like
It sounds
crazy.
like she's eating something she shouldn't. But
Uh-oh.
let's see.
Damn dog.
Okay. The players he has, that's not his fault. The
Right.
way he constructs a lineup, the way he uses his players, the way he uses his bullpen, that's his fault.
Mhm.
He can only, I know he only has so much to work with, but when someone's going hot, just keep playing them.
Mhm.
Stop trying to use that. You don't have any magic, David Ross. Like, you don't have a reputation of making some magic.
You are not Joe Madden, sir.
No, you're not. You're not Ozzy. You're not any of these magicians who sometimes their magic worked, sometimes it didn't, but they still had a reputation. David Ross is, I'm not saying he's bad, but he's definitely not good. And he's kind of bad. And it doesn't seem like he's gotten better. That's the thing. Like, even when you're looking at players, you want to see them progress and get better. I think some of his decision making has gotten a little worse, in my opinion. Um, the way he constructs a lineup, I wish I can remember exactly the game. I'm pretty sure it was against the Rays when the pitcher, all like right-handers or something, they hit this guy ridiculously. He's a good pitcher for the Rays. I can't think of his name. I'm sure someone out there knows who it is. And David Ross decided to construct a lineup with not enough hitters, not enough right-hand hitters. Now, I think they wound up winning the game, or they may not have.
Was it the third game in that set? I know they won. They took the first two.
They may have won the game. There's Lala in the screen. But it was like simple. It was simple things like that. Like, if everyone else can look up the same information, and I know he has way more information than any just a regular podcaster, regular Joe Schmo, Jane Schmaine, the same information we have. I had there's Joe Schmo, but there is nothing for a woman. So it's now Jane Schmaine.
There you go. That works.
And he has more information. So that's my problem with David Ross. His decision making, it hasn't improved. He's not going to be the man to take them to the next level. But he's just frustrating. And while I put a lot on him, I know I can't put it all on him because he also hasn't been given a lot. But you know what? No, I'm not even going to do that. He has enough. There's enough of the core that he could construct a lineup that makes sense based on the pitching. You can look at those stats and all that. Everyone's in analytics, so use them. I'm sure all the analytics said they tell you how to construct your lineup. So just do it like that. And then with the closer, like, pick someone and just let them go for a while. You're really not competing, even though you say you are. He even knows, like, yeah, I mean, okay, you can say we're competing, but we're not good. So pick someone, either lighter or Alzolay. I think you should let one of them go a good month, 2 months. Like, you're the guy, this is your job, and see if they can do it. And if they can't do it in that month, then you move on to the next guy. But like, establish a closer. You can do that, David Ross. You can do that with what you have there. So how much of the Cubs woes is his fault? A lot.
I see a lack of consistency.
Yeah. And just his, like, I don't understand why he makes the decisions he makes. Why he constructs the lineups that he constructs. It just doesn't always make sense. If someone's hot, someone who maybe hasn't played in a while, they came in, they were hot. Okay, well, why aren't they back out there the next game? Like, ride a hot hand. If anything, he has the room to play around a little more or to go with his gut than anyone else, because even though he's on the hot seat, you can't blame all of it on him. And so for the management to blame it on him when you're the ones who gave him this, you're the one who won't keep Amaya up here and get rid of Barnhart. Like, that needs to be
what Amaya did today.
Exactly. And so it proves everyone's point. Like, just let these kids play. You're not doing anything. Okay, you pretended that you were going to compete. You fooled everyone in the beginning of the year. Your name was connected to a lot of people, and we got Dansby, and then you got Cody Bellinger, who's trying to resurrect his career. But, let the kids play. Let that kid play. Barnhart we don't need his leadership. You got Gomes. We don't need his veteran leadership. We don't need any of that. We need that young kid to come up here and learn how to play.
Absolutely. And you see,
I give him 50
immediately.
Yes. I give it 40 right now, David Ross, because he could do better with what he could make better decisions with what he has.
Absolutely. I would agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tucker Barnhart is on the
Garbage.
last 7 days is hitting 0.
Now, does it get any worse than that?
It does not. It does not. It does
Could
not.
he be any worse?
No. I mean, literally over the last week, he literally couldn't be worse.
Yeah. And then, it's just I don't know why they think they need to keep him, because if you don't need him, you don't need that presence.
No.
You have it in Gomes. You don't need him. He could go bye-bye. If you let Hosmer go, he can go next.
Absolutely. I agree
I mean,
with that.
Amaya, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 3 for 3. His OPS is 1,000. His
Right.
average 375. And I know it'll dip eventually like Morel did, but still, Morel still has an OPS of 996. Still has an average of 267. So let him learn here.
Yeah, because you're playing with free money at this point.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
While fans want you to compete, you do still have this year to test out some people.
This is true.
But I really think this is their last year. Like, even if they bring up some of their other highly thought of prospects, they still better produce, and they better have some good veterans around them. And it's time to compete, because this division is garbage. There's no reason why you can't compete. And
it's the time to strike is now and next year for sure.
Yes.
Because I don't see this division necessarily getting much better in the near future.
No.
Same goes for the AL.
Yes.
Now, moving on to this topic, and this topic is crazy to me. Like, this is ridiculous that we're even talking about this, but it is a conversation. Unfortunately, it is a thing. Marcus Stroman, to deal or not to deal. Like,
and people are like, you know how many prospects we can get for Stroman? So, do you know what Stroman can do if you put a better team around him?
Absolutely. You see what he's doing with the trash, with the guys he's got.
You said it right the first time.
I don't want to make people think I'm like this anti-Cubs guy, so I just, I tried to clean it up.
You have eyes.
Yeah, I do.
You have. Why not keep him and Steele together?
Right.
And he wants to stay. He's willing to stay to see if you'll get better next year.
Seems like he wants to stay.
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to get traded. He loves playing here. He loves the energy of the crowd. The crowd loves his energy. And when you're not good, you look for excitement. Okay. And the excitement every 5 days is him. And we like Justin Steele too, but he has that. His personality is also exciting.
He has a presence.
And so he can get everybody going. That's why a lot of people like Morel, because he's excitable. And when you're losing, you need something to hold on to. But he had another quality start, and he won today. Like, I don't want a bunch of prospects. I don't want any more 19-year-olds that are going to start in single A, and now we'll be waiting 2-3 years for them to come up. Like, I don't want that, and no one should want that. Like, I don't want to have the highest rated farm system for it to not mean anything.
Yeah, you definitely seem like you're hustling backwards at this point in the Cubs.
Yes.
Okay, we're not calling it a rebuild that they're doing, but it's definitely hustling backwards to move a guy like Stroman at this point. He is in his prime right now, and the Cubs ideally aren't that far off from really competing. So this is a guy that you want there to anchor your starting rotation. And like you said, prospects, but you're talking 2-3 years. Like, Like you're not. That's not where you are with this team.
No, and it is not like you already have a good enough core that okay, these prospects will be for later down the line because we already have what we need right now to
Right?
start
No, no,
competing
no,
next year.
no,
You
no,
don't
no,
even
no, no,
have
no,
that.
no,
So
no.
any prospects that you're getting, you're still hoping eventually when you're ready to compete, they'll be ready to come up. And
Right.
and like people have said, I forgot if it was Dan McNeil, I forgot who used to always say it, but it was very true. Prospects are suspects. They may
Mm-hmm.
look good. People think they're going to be good, but injuries happen. The stress of getting there happens. Like a lot of things happen to these top prospects. And who's to say, even though a lot of people want Stroman, they still may not give you their best prospects,
Who
right?
did they get for you, Darvish?
No, exactly. See, and everyone's been talking about what they got for you, Darvish, that they're not even going to be anything. Like it's you basically gave him away based on what they said. We'll have to look it up who they got, but I know they were talking about that recently on sports radio. Like after you look at that trade, it's nothing. There's the one pitcher that may have moved up or might do something, but you really gave away you, Darvish, for nothing in the end.
And you, Darvish, pitched a complete game against the Cubs
Yeah.
yesterday.
And okay, yeah, he was bad that first year, so you lost a year with him because he was bad. But you know his track record. He wasn't going to stay bad forever,
Mm-hmm. And he
and
didn't.
and he didn't. Let's see how it looks for the Cubs 2 years later. I don't want that part. Let me see. I'm just trying to see who they got. The fact that we can't even name.
Or it's
Let's
not
see.
talked about at this point.
Yeah, they traded. They got 4 very young prospects and Zach Davies. See, they just keep saying young, high ceiling talent. Shortstop Reginald Preciado, outfielder Owen Casey. I may be saying these names wrong. Outfielder Ishmael Mania and shortstop Yesan Santana. Who? That's what they got.
Yeah, because ideally these should be people that we're talking about coming up next year, and they're not
I don't recall any of those names being talked
mentioned.
about. You
Yeah.
hear about the PCA, Brennan Davis, those, and then there's one pitcher that has moved up. If anybody out there remembers that name, but I can't even pronounce the names right. So that tells you how much anyone even talks about
You
them.
haven't heard the names.
Right. Maybe that Owen, I may have
Ishmael
heard that
Mania.
name.
Reginald Preciado, Yason Santana, Yason.
Yeah.
Oh, Yason Santana. That's how it was pronounced.
Oh, okay. See, all right.
All right,
Jason,
I just know sometimes Spanish names they have these weird spellings that sound
okay.
like more English names.
And then okay, Ishmael, I can get that one, and it's probably Mania, Mina. I don't know. As I said,
Ismail Mena. I don't see a tilde over that end, so I thought it would be Mania, but it's
but I guess
Mena.
it's just Mena.
Yeah.
And then Owen
Casey.
Who?
Like you said.
Who? We got Zach Davies and 4 who's.
4 who's. Zach Davies and 4 owls. That's unfortunate.
And so that's probably the same type of deal they'd make again.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like you never know who, like,
right.
They'll make a deal and you might get a bunch of who's back.
Because this was all a salary dump. Getting rid of you, Darvish, was all a salary dump. Mm-hmm. Well, that's too quality of a pitcher to only get salary dump return. I'm sorry. Yeah. Maybe that's why I'll never own a team. But you, Darvish, I'm not getting who's and Zach Davies. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or Marcus Stroman, like his talent is not to be denied, and you should hold on to that. I can't believe we're even talking about
It
this.
is, and it has been asked, and that's why Marcus Stroman has been bringing it up because people are asking him, and I will be upset if it happens. I will not be shocked because it's the Cubs.
It is Chicago.
It's the Chicago way.
Chicago way.
That in politics, they're always crooked.
Always crooked. The Windy City.
We're gonna do everything wrong.
For sure. Well, overall, the Cubs have had some moments, probably more bad than good. But
It's
what are we
amazing.
looking like the last 2 weeks?
It's amazing that they get swept by the Reds and then they play the Rays the way they played.
That was crazy.
It's just I can't
And
figure
the Rays
out
are juggernaut.
Yes.
Juggernaut.
And you get swept by the Reds, who are now back below you in the standings. And then you come out and play the Rays, and then you played the Padres pretty good, pretty well. So it's been some good, some bad, more bad. Like, okay, they won today, they lost yesterday, then they won the first game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they won 2 out of 3 with the Rays, and then the Reds. Woof.
Sweep.
Then they won, and then they did all right with the Mets. So they're just not a good team. And I guess this is just what happens with not good teams. Definitely hold on to Stroman. Mets. Yeah. Yeah, Mets sure could use him right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they got to hold on to Stroman. And between him and Justin Steele, and I know Hendricks won his last one. So the starting rotation, and then Tyone finally won. Maybe that'll get him going because,
yeah.
Oof. And I know Steele's going to miss a game with a forearm issue.
Forearm tightness or something like that.
And but luckily, right now, it didn't show anything that would be Tommy John because that's what most people feared.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have that forearm.
And the forearm tightness.
So now you got to be careful with Justin Steele. So, and then we hope that won't make in the Cubs' minds like, well, we're going to start all over with everyone. Might as well give away Marcus Stroman.
They are not in that place. They're not in that bad of a place.
No. So, while there were some things to celebrate for the Cubs coming through, it's still just bad baseball. You can remember how I said at the beginning of the year that they were a lot more fun to watch?
Yeah, well, they were at the beginning of the year.
Now there are games that are fun to watch when a certain pitcher's pitching. Like, if Steele and Stroman are pitching, you pay attention to those.
And the bats came alive today for whatever reason,
And then when they play tomorrow, they'll be garbage. They'll struggle. They'll struggle to score one run. And let's see next. Oh, so they're still playing the Padres. They have
the Padres again tomorrow.
And it's Hendricks versus Snell, Snell is 1-6 with a 4.50 ERA. Now Hendricks is on 1 with a 3.86. So it's a toss up.
And 2 starts.
Yeah.
Got dinged up really bad that first start. Came back with a nice showing his second start, I thought.
He did.
Yeah.
Which will be expected.
Yeah.
Coming back from injury.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your guys, okay?
All right.
Enough of mine. Michael Kopech. Has he found his mojo? What do you think?
I think so. He has had now 3 consecutive quality starts. Didn't get the win today, but had a good showing today with I think what he do? Let me look this up. I thought I had it someplace. 7 innings, win a full 7. Gave up 3 hits, 2 earned. He finally stopped tipping his pitches.
Wonder what made him finally stop.
Probably that John Boy Media video that went out all over the place, showing exactly how he was tipping his pitches. the little lift of the glove, when he was adjusting the ball.
Mm,
And that was early in the year because he had some struggles even after that, but he's picked it up. He seems to gotten his control issues down. Because he's really him and Dylan Cease are the only two pitchers we have like really locked up
mm,
moving forward after this year. So like he's going to be integral in whatever the hell they're planning to do. I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to keep going with this team or they're going to rebuild. I feel like as long as Rick Hahn is in charge, he's going to go with this lineup. He's going to
mm,
go with this group until they fire him, pretty much.
mm.
Like I can't imagine him getting another rebuild under, you know what I mean, under his tenure. But I think Michael Kopech he's healthy finally. He's still, his ERA is still up above 4, but he had some really bad outings earlier in the year. But he has made up for them, in his last, let's see, his last 7. Well, you can't really say 7 days for a pitcher. But let's see. He hasn't missed any games due to injury this year, which is
Okay,
good.
that's good.
That's
That's a
good.
step.
That
Mm,
is a step. So I think so. And that's all I really have to say is he's been holding it down. Like you don't have that fear of the unknown when he's taking the hill, like how it's been forever with him.
mhm.
I think he's arguably right now our second, third best pitcher.
Okay.
Maybe 2A, 2B. Because I think I'm more comfortable with him than Lance Lynn right now. Dylan Cease has even had his struggles. Giolito is really the anchor.
Mm.
He's not great, but he's been the anchor. He's been the most consistent this year. And followed by Kopech, and Clevenger hasn't been bad either.
Yeah.
Such a douchebag though, but he looks like it too.
He does. I was looking at him pitch, and I know it's not a balk because they don't call it. But why is he allowed to move so much before he even pitches? You see how he steps and moves?
Yeah, I think that's just one of his little tricks he does to throw off hitters.
It's crazy.
That foot stays attached to the
Yeah,
rubber,
so
I
I guess.
guess. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I know it's not one, but it's just crazy
it
that
looks
he can move.
right. It's like, how is this not a balk? Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's got the Jimmy legs up there.
Yes, it is. I was like, how is he moving so much? But
Yeah,
yeah, Clevenger.
yeah.
So how did they do for the 2 weeks? They're 5.5 out, leading
um,
in the division. Good.
they had that 3-game losing streak, which was kind of stinky. You know what I mean? And lost 2 of 3 in Detroit, which wasn't good. Kind of have a feeling if we had Liam Hendricks during that series that we would have taken at least 2 of 3.
Mm.
Or maybe not. I'm looking at the scores. Like, no, not really. Uh, it was one game that we gave up late that I thought it was against the Angels. It was against the Angels that we kind of gave it up late. But overall, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. 5 games in the MLB is a very small sample, comparatively to all the games played. They are at about 500 this past 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3,
Oh, that's good for
4,
them.
5.
considering.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just above 500.
Okay. That's
A
good.
game above 500 this past 2 weeks. But they just have that 10 game losing streak. Like, they're going to need to win. They're going to need to go on a tear and win 5 and 6 in a row, a couple of times to really make up for that. You know, since that losing streak, they have been playing about 500 ball, which is enough to really, really be competing for first place in this terrible AL Central. And they just have a lot of work to do. They have to overcome that 10 game losing streak. That just like tore the asshole out of them.
It did. That was rough.
That was pitiful.
But you know, for them, based on what you just said, they have. It seems like they're playing better. They're getting better contributions now. I know that one game against Detroit wasn't that like the first game ever when all runs came off of wild pitches.
Off of wild pitches,
not a run came from anything.
I gotta add that umpire getting plunked to our intro reel.
Yes. Oh my God.
Dead on in the mouth.
Yes, knocked him out, and then no one could find the ball.
Right. I mean, everybody was just such in shock. Like the catcher was like, "Do I go for the ball or do I help the ump?" Right. Like,
yeah, that was quite a game.
And then like the Sox, it was, you know, obviously it was they won it on that play, but the Sox were kind of hesitant to come out and celebrate because it was like, hey, is he okay? So they kind of trickled out of the dugout normally when they were charged out. So
they like, can someone roll him out of the
way so we can get our plate celebration on?
Yeah, that was a interesting way to win.
And Tim helped him up. That was nice of him.
Yeah. But you know, it's just getting consistent, and like you just said, they have to come back so far. Like there's a lot of work, but that is a division to do it. But then the problem is, or the question is, they get out the division, then what? Are they a team that can compete with the other top teams?
No. they're barely competing with the division. Which takes us to our next topic.
So are the White Sox a real threat to win the division?
Kind of.
In this division, does it take much?
No. Right now, June 4th, they're still a threat. You know, because Minnesota is that bad.
Minnesota's twinning. Twins
are
twinning.
They're twinning. Twins are twinning.
Twins gonna twin.
Guardians gonna
Guardian. Sox gonna Sox.
Yeah.
Tigers gonna Tiger. Yep. And the Royals.
The Royals bringing up the rear. Whom we still have problems with. We swept them later on. But
they're the Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess they are. What do you think they need to go beyond winning the division?
Oof. Well, I still think they need somebody to step up and consistently lock in that second base position. Romy Gonzalez has made some good plays, and he's been hot at the plate recently. Elvis Andrews, his bat is like, he might as well, like, it's like he's going up there without a bat. He's going up there and standing there, and like he'd have the same results if he didn't use a bat.
So he should stop swinging it and he should just try to lean into a pitch
and get on base, or like they need to have him bunting or something.
Yeah,
to get on base.
He might as well not go up there with the bat.
Yeah, he can just go up there, stand there, and lean into a pitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Get on base. Help your team.
take one for the team.
I'm
Um,
just imagining him be like, "What are you doing?"
like
I
and
can't hit
and
anyway.
Elvis doesn't even have a bat.
Like, have you watched me this year?
He's going up there and
He
he's
just
I've
needs to
never seen
practice.
anything like this
Yeah,
before.
he needs to practice batting and leaning over the plate
Yep,
with that
yep.
elbow. Banded,
Get up in that box tight.
yep. Be like, get in there like a Anthony Rizzo.
Like the Rizzo, get up on that plate nice and
Yep.
tight and just turn away and take that. Take
Take
that.
one for the
Take
team.
that.
You're not doing anything else. Do this.
Seriously.
So, okay, so at the trade deadline, they need to get a second baseman, what you're saying.
Ooh, I think at the trade deadline, they need to look for a pitcher. But
Okay.
we don't have anything to trade except, like maybe Jake Berger. And you kind of
You
need Jake
man.
Berger. We need
Yeah.
that bat. And we're in this position like they need to like really work with Berger, I think, at second base because he needs to be in the lineup consistently. Right now, he's not an everyday player, but I really think he needs to be an everyday player. He's not, they've had him at third, they've had him at second. He's not great at either. I'd rather him at second. And they need to just kind of stick with him
Yeah.
because he needs to be, and I like the move that they made and like we're seeing Eloy out in right field more often
Mm-hmm.
than not, and I like that move. He's seemed like he's been able to handle it, and his bat warrants him being an everyday player for sure. They need to find a way to get Jake Berger more at bats. I feel like for one, and then maybe you look at somebody like a Gavin Sheets who. He's a lefty with some power, so he's got value. So maybe look at somebody like him as far as trading to try to get some help with your pitching. But I don't know how much you're going to get back at this point. The Sox have one of the worst farm systems in the league. They don't have any real assets to trade. Clint Frazier is making a little noise, so he could be somebody that they could. But I mean, hell, they picked him up off of the street, so
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have much trade value at this point.
And that's what you just said about not having it in the farm system. That would be someone's argument for why the Cubs should trade Marcus Stroman. No, it's different.
No, that's different. Yeah, that's different. We don't have a farm system, but like, I mean, you do that when you're ready to start rebuilding, kind of. You know what I mean? And Rick Hahn is not trying to rebuild because he doesn't get a rebuild.
Yeah,
I hope not.
he needs to. He probably shouldn't even get a retool. His retool needs to happen at this trade deadline.
This is it.
And so, okay, out of Vaughn and Sheets, who could you get the most for?
Right now, probably Sheets, but I think Vaughn is the better player.
Okay,
he's struggling a little bit right now at the plate, but I think he's overall the better player.
Okay.
And so I would think that he's and Sheets is the first baseman actually. So, and that's a good point. Andrew Vaughn could be somebody who they think about trading, but then you giving away. He was the number 4 pick a few years ago. So you're like, are you really giving up on him at this point? You let Abreu walk because you had Vaughn.
Because I'm trying to think who. Because it's almost they're gonna have to weaken themselves slightly somewhere to get what they need. And so it's like, who can they afford? Where can they afford to weaken themselves a little bit?
I mean, they're so thin
Yeah, because I mean, you're not going to
everywhere.
trade. Okay, would you trade Moncada?
But then who do you put at first? You wind up with
He's at
Jake Bird,
first.
or you trade Moncada,
Mm,
you move Elvis over to third and put Jake Berger in at second.
yeah, but see Elvis there. That's too
But
easy.
then Elvis, you
Yeah, that's
really
too easy.
weakening
So okay, do you
things.
trade Jake Berger?
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Then, like, I think that's how we started the
Yeah,
conversation.
we
Whereas
did. Yeah,
he
maybe
would
he's
be possibly the guy that I would think about and think about moving for
mm,
some pitching help because I
mm.
mean
Yeah, they
Lance
are
Lynn
quite
is
a
toast.
woof. I mean, and Steve Stone didn't have to dog him like that about the salad, but
But he had it coming. I mean, not to say that just because he's a big guy, but it's like and it was like the whole thing where he kind of showed up Moncada for
yeah,
that era, and then he goes out his next outing and gives up
yeah,
7 runs. It's like,
that
well,
that did
bro,
not sit well with Ozzy when he
no, it didn't, and I don't blame him. Like, bro, you know,
and they love Makata, the Guillen family too. So,
of course,
so yeah. But you can't show up somebody and you have not been good
exactly, and you shouldn't be showing up your teammate, period, on the field.
because
But
there's
on top of it, you haven't been good.
yes, because there has been times that your offense had to pick you up when you gave up 6 runs in the first.
Absolutely.
So you want your team to start like, oh my God, get it out! Like you want them to
Yeah.
start screaming, can
Yeah.
you throw a strike?
Yeah.
They can't do that to you, so
You
don't
shouldn't be
act
doing
like
that to
you're
him. And
perfect.
I get it. Lance, he's an emotional
Yeah,
guy and blah blah blah. But
but that leadership's not even working right now.
yeah, exactly.
That's not
Exactly.
you're
So
not it with that. So
so
make yeah, but they need pitching, so you don't want to weaken with giving him away. I don't know.
it's quite a conundrum. They're in a bad spot of like they're not good enough and they don't
No,
have any assets to trade and get better. And they just aren't willing to pay free agents,
and the
in the
comment
off
we never
season.
pay that much. Well, then you're never gonna make it
Never gonna make it.
because you're not
Never
even
gonna
gonna
make
keep your own people.
because you don't scout well enough.
Mm-mm.
You're not the Rays.
Praise.
You know what I mean? You're not in spite of their struggles this year, you're not the Cardinals. You
Cardinals.
know what I mean? You don't scout well enough to rely on your homegrown talent and not
Mhm.
open up that wallet, Jerry Reinsdorf.
I mean, just
And he's so stubborn. He does not believe in paying.
mm,
He does not believe in paying people at
mm-mm.
all.
It's almost like he's satisfied with 05.
Yeah.
He got one.
He's like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And now we're
And I
waiting.
feel that's how he is with the Bulls.
Yep. It's like we had a great run.
Yep.
I'm not paying for we had a great run and I didn't have to pay Scotty shit. And
I didn't pay Michael till at the end.
till at the very end. Right.
Yeah. And so in 05, I didn't have to pay anyone a lot. And
Nope.
I got my, because that's what was most important to him to getting that championship.
Mm-hmm. Especially that baseball.
Yeah, that baseball. That was even more, important to him than that. So he got it. So you feel like he's like, I got it. I'm fine. I'm okay. And
Yeah.
no,
So a lot of this comes down on Reinsdorf and his unwillingness to pay for talent.
because your fans aren't okay.
Right.
Want more? Who only wants one? Yeah, it was great that one in 05. Yeah, you lived, but it's 2023. That's 18 years ago.
Reinsdorf has made it clear he does not really respect the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, he says if you listen to fans, then you end up sitting with them, which was crass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's so out of touch.
Yeah, he's very out of touch.
And then he wants them to come to the games.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of us still go.
Yeah, I mean, it is baseball in the summer. It's a good time.
It is a good time, and it's a beautiful park, and it's good
Yeah,
food.
a
It's a
lot for
good
kids
time.
to do.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Well,
Mm.
and that's that. Damn it. Feel a little soured now. I was in a good mood because they won. They got the sweep today
Yeah,
against Detroit.
the
After
ender.
losing 2 or 3 from them last week, they got the sweep today. So felt good about that. Liam Hendricks with got the win actually. And he got the win on National Cancer Survivors Day, which was
Hey,
pretty
now
awesome.
that's
And that's been the feel good story around the ball club, around the league is Liam Hendricks
mhm.
diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, back on the mound, got right back into that closer position really fast, and his stuff is looking good. He's not quite 100%. You got to realize this is his spring training
Yeah,
right now. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So he's still got some work to do, but he's up to the task. I mean, you
You
beat
know,
cancer. What is
yeah,
this? Is
right. He's
nothing.
won. He's won in life.
He's
But everyone
won.
wants the Hollywood story. It
Yeah,
would have been, I think everyone rooted for that first time out, lights out,
yeah,
because you just
yeah.
wanted,
Because you
yeah,
want the
you just wanted
Hollywood,
to add to the story of
right?
the amazing comeback. But
Right.
but
I
you should,
didn't think it was a good idea bringing him in with only a 1-run lead,
yeah.
or we were behind by 1 or something like that.
Mm.
I didn't think that was the best time to bring him in.
It would have been good with 3 runs. Give him some room.
Yeah, it gave him a little more room, but it is what it is, and he
He's still
likes
a
the
winner at
pressure.
life.
Yeah, he's still living the
Literally,
life.
he's a winner at
Yep,
life.
yep. Big ups to Liam Hendricks. Uh, Great pitcher, great person, and
Survivor.
survivor. Absolutely, absolutely. In other news, the finals are on. NBA.
See what we got going on here.
Let's see. Nuggets up by 4 in the third.
Now they're up by 7
Oof. Okay.
with 45.4 seconds. Although I am looking at it on NBA.com play by play, so I may be.
Now you have a more
Oh, it's more okay.
up to date than what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. Jokic just hit he has 2 free throws, so it is now an 8-point game in the third.
Yeah. As much as I would like to see Jimmy win one, because that's a great story too. I think Denver is just going to be too much.
And
But
see,
I love this. I don't love the new NBA, but I do love that the whole Big Three thing is over.
well, you know what I love about this, because Bam has been playing well, and we know Jokic. I love that they're showing the usefulness of a big man
Ah,
that can
yeah,
do a little bit of everything.
yes.
Jokic,
Basketball.
yes, Bam and Jokic, the two big men, have been doing well scoring wise and
Yes.
rebounding and assists.
And basketball,
Yes,
and
I
not just
actually,
running gun,
yes, like
small
they still
guard
shoot too
play.
many threes, but they also run a lot. They run just about when they need to make a stop or calm things down, they just run it through Jokic,
Yep.
and it's working. So I like that the big men are in. There's hard nosed '90s basketball and Jimmy being highlighted,
Yep.
and they throw in threes. So you're getting
Yep.
the best
And
of both
you get
worlds.
to there's still some threes for sure.
Yeah, so
For sure.
I do like that. I actually predicted the Heat in 6, and the reason why is because the Heat keep beating everybody they're not supposed to beat.
This is
So,
true.
so I figured, why stop now?
Why stop now?
Now it's gonna be a little harder, but like they weren't supposed to beat any of the people they beat except for
the Bulls.
And then the crazy thing is, the Bulls were winning. And
the Bulls just lost. They
yes,
barely beat the Bulls.
yes, and and why did the Bulls lose? Because they didn't go through their big man.
They all year. Oh, Billy Donovan drove me nuts with that.
They chose not to run through their big man, who, whenever they did go to him, something good usually happened, as long as it wasn't Io shooting the three.
And then
But
Billy Donovan's like, okay, this is working, going through. Let's change it.
you're right, like, all right, Vooch, you are doing great. So tomorrow we're gonna just let you ISO
We're
now.
gonna how you do some ISO ball. Thank you, Vooch.
Zach, just shoot a bunch of threes, okay?
Right.
We're gonna ignore Vooch now because he has 19 in 10 minutes.
I cannot wrap my head around the stupidity.
But yeah, so while this isn't a sexy finals, it's closer to what we used to always enjoy in basketball.
And of course,
they're
people
all
would
great.
be like, well, it was all Bulls. I'm like, oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, that is true.
But not the point.
But it's exciting because these teams can do both. They can play hard-nosed basketball and they can shoot the threes. I think both teams are still shooting way too many threes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the league now. And
you saw that's what completely took Boston out.
Oh yeah. And then there's so many, to me, this is just my opinion, they're unnecessary threes that people are taking.
Like, why not run an offense?
Run some time off the clock. If you're up by 13, why? There's no need for these threes. You're up by 13. Keep driving to the basket. Run the clock.
Get to the free throw line.
Yeah, but then you miss 2-3 threes in a row. Long rebound, get to the other team. They happen to hit two of theirs and a two. Okay, now you're barely. You were up by 13. Now you're only up by 5 and only a minute passed.
Yeah, you see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Really, like the score shift really quick.
Yes, because they missed so many threes and there's a long rebound. And what is it? 8 times out of 10, it goes to the defensive team, that rebound. Mm-hmm. It's not an offensive rebound.
It's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I did predict Heat and 6.
All right. Well, I hope you are right about that.
Yeah.
You should put some money on it.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm not that confident in it.
No fool.
I need all my dollars.
Every last one. Defense, especially from the perimeter, was excellent in game 1. Absolutely.
It was.
Absolutely. And it forced them to look at other options. Yeah.
And that's what Sydney was at the person name. That's what to me, that's what's making. I haven't really been watching it, but from what I keep track of, that's what's made it kind of enjoyable. And it's a copycat league. Isaiah Thomas, not Pistons Isaiah Thomas, but the little guy.
Yeah.
He said it's a copycat league. So if Denver wins, everyone's going to try to now get a big guy who can pass, because it's a copycat league. Now, there aren't that many. And I believe that's why the Bulls have started talking to Vooch. They're trying to lock him up before someone offers him more money.
They might be too late.
Yep.
Should have extended him.
Yep. So now.
Stupid.
The Heat just knocked it down to 5 in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Robinson just hit a 3. Am I ahead of people? Am I doing spoilers if anyone's listening?
Wow, what if they care? They should be watching it live.
No, they shouldn't. They should be watching.
Oh, they should be watching Plunked.
Taking our viewers away. Sydney, have you been watching? Has their perimeter defense been as good today? I have not watched the game today. It seems like the Heat are hitting more threes, but I don't know. I have not been watching the game, so if it has been better, if you can see this and answer within the next 30 seconds, let me know.
Right.
Because Emilio's done with Plunked for the night.
20 seconds.
10. Thanks for nothing, Sydney.
Thank you for tuning in, Sydney
Yeah,
Brown.
thank you for that.
Much
We
appreciated.
appreciate you.
And
Please
we
continue.
appreciate everybody who has viewed us live and who will check us out on the replay. We really do. We do this for fun. We don't know shit, but we know some stuff. We don't know shit, but we're fans and we got eyes. And we're just giving it to you as we see it. So
Well said.
So signing off for tonight, this is Emilio Bucks.
This is Kristen Petit.
And we'll catch you all next weekend. Father's Day is next weekend, right?
No.
It's 2 weekends from now.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Father's Day is on the 18th.
All right, got it. Oh, it's all right. It's kind of late this year, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So we'll catch you all next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, Sydney came back. Hold on. 13 for
27.
Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney. 8 for
Denver,
20 from Denver.
All right. See?
Yeah, Miami got it down to 5. No, 2 now. Duncan Robinson's has gotten hot now.
All right, let me turn this game on then.
All right.
All right. Thank you all, Plunksters. Once again, you've been watching Plunk. This is the show where we celebrate 2 teams in 1 city. Peace.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.